Hello my friends and welcome back to my channel. My name is Taylor and today we are going to talk about all of the books that I read in the month of September. Let's get into it. So if I look a little tired today, it's because I am. We have officially kicked off wedding season here in the house. I gave all of my bridesmaids their gifts yesterday. I also went and tried on some dresses today, which was so fun and such a great experience. If you guys are interested, I will do a video of like the dresses that I didn't end up loving and do that in a separate video. If that's something you guys are interested in, please let me know. But enough about all of that. Today, we are going to talk about what you all are here for, which is all of the books that I read in the month of September. And you guys, I feel like I'm getting back in my reading game. I feel like this year has been such a blur. The fact that it's already October almost is blowing my mind. I really don't know where this year went, truly. It's been an amazing year, but it's been such a blur, so I'm trying to just soak it all in. But regardless, let's start with the book I actually don't have in front of me because I read it on my Libby app, or no, is it Libby? On audiobook, basically. And that is, I finally finished up the series for The Wild Robot. So I read The Wild Robot Protects, and I really loved it. It's the third and final book in the series, and you could honestly read it separately, or the whole series doesn't need to be read in order. You could read them separately if you really wanted to. They all just do kind of build on each other. But yeah, I really enjoyed this series. I thought it was really cute. I love a middle grade story, like you guys know, so this one really was cute and tied the whole story together really nicely. I do think you probably could have ended the series after the second one and just had it be a duology, but this one was cute. It added some new characters to the cast. It added some elements to it. The only thing I wish this series had was a little bit more of a dramatic conclusion, in the sense of this is a world where robots are not sentient obviously, but like such a huge part of society, and I wish there would have been more conversation around that. Granted, this is a children's story, so I get that they're not going to dive that deep into all of this, but I do wish that was an aspect that had been talked about a little bit more. But this one really focused on pollution, animals, and kind of the result humanity has on the natural world. So that was a really good conversation. I feel like they played with that really nicely. But yeah, overall I thought it was good. I think I ended up giving it 3 or 4 stars, and I liked it a lot. Next, let's talk about another series that I finally wrapped up. This is Ruthless Vows by Rebecca Ross. This is what is this series called? I forget, the Divine Rivals series. This essentially is following 2 people that are part of a war, similar feeling and like time of year to like when World War II was happening, but this is in a world where gods exist and they've essentially gone to war with each other, and humanity has thus been affected by it. And this follows 2 people, Roman and Iris, and this essentially follows the second part in the story, leaving very much so in the first book that left on a cliffhanger. So it picks up pretty much right after the events of the first book, which I appreciated. And I didn't really need the refresher, which was nice. Like, I appreciate when a second or third or a continuation in a series kind of gives you a small recap so you can be refreshed on what's going on within the story. I really liked that it did that, so I feel like I wasn't kind of playing catch up because it had been a minute since I've read the first one. So yeah, I enjoyed this. I will admit I think I enjoyed the first book a little bit better, but I liked this one. I feel like it wrapped things up really nicely. It did almost in a way wrap things up too nicely, where all of a sudden everything was kind of taken care of and done, and like the ending to me left me a little unsatisfied. I won't say what happens obviously for spoilers if you are interested in reading this series, but yeah, overall I enjoyed it. I think I definitely did like the first one better because I feel like I remember more of the first book. This one I read, I mean, literally a couple weeks ago, and there's not much of it I hold on to other than a very steamy shower scene. So yeah, take that for what you will. But yeah, overall I thought this was good. I enjoyed the series. I do want to read more from Rebecca Ross, but yeah, I liked it a lot and would recommend it if you're interested. Okay, Next, let's talk about two children's books that I was really interested in picking up. These are new releases. The first one is The Invisible Parade by Leigh Bardugo. This essentially follows a girl dealing with Dia de los Muertos and the death of her grandfather. Yeah, so basically goes through and like how she's dealing with the death of her grandfather. The art in this is beautiful. I was obsessed with the art style. It's so pretty. I think it's gorgeous. I really enjoyed it. I think it touched on death and that world beautifully, and I just thought this was a stunning book to read. So very highly recommend that one. And then the other one I read was Hansel and Gretel by Stephen King. So this is a Hansel and Gretel retelling. The illustrations are by Maurice Sendak, and I thought, again, this was beautifully done. I loved the illustrations in this. They were so pretty. I feel like it's just a very unique art style. This is actually the artist who did the Where the Lost Things Go, or is that the one that he did? Oh, Where the Wild Things Are. That's where it was. So the art style looks similar. That is why. So yeah, like I said, I enjoyed this. I think this was really well done. And now I can officially say I've read something by Stephen King. Granted, it is a children's novel. Okay, now let's talk a couple of novellas. The first one, I actually read both of these on a flight for work. The first one is Thornhedge by T. Kingfisher. I've definitely started to lean into her stories. I've enjoyed both of them that I finally got into. This one actually read pretty quickly, and this essentially follows what is she? Her name is Toadleen, and she's essentially a witch, and she is basically tasked with protecting the world from the child that she was born to bless. And yeah, it's really interesting. I thought it was actually a really cute story. I liked it a lot. And yeah, I definitely want to read more from T. Kingfisher. I feel like everything I've read from her, I've just really ended up liking for the most part. So I want to keep reading her kind of modern fairy retellings, which is really interesting. And then let's talk about this. So I picked this up from Waterstones. This is called Hunger by Choi Jin Young. This is a Korean cult classic, and it is one of the weirdest books I think I've ever read. I've definitely started leaning more into translated works, especially Asian translated works. I really enjoy them, and this one was just odd. This essentially is, and I mean, it tells you, yeah, she basically, does it really say? Yeah, kind of. It essentially talks about how, and this doesn't necessarily spoiler because it talks about it in like almost the first few pages. Basically, this woman finds her man murdered on the street, and she takes his corpse home where she disinfects every inch of his skin before seating herself to begin. They basically talk about their body, and then the woman essentially talks about how she's eating the man. It's bizarre. It's so bizarre. I can't even begin to tell you. The way that it's written, this is one of those ones that's going to stick with me, and I don't know if in a good way or not. I still don't really know how I feel about this. It's so short. I read it in, like I said, on the flight coming home from a work trip. But yeah, it's interesting. If you're interested in translated Korean work, definitely check this one out. But yeah, it's a proceed with caution. Do with that information what you will. Okay, next, let's talk about another one that I actually really enjoyed. This is The Martian. So this was my book club. It's a book for September, and this was actually my pick or my like offer up. We gave everybody options and they vote. This is what everybody voted on, and I think most people could say they liked it pretty well. People seem like they enjoyed it. I really want to watch the movie now that I've seen or read the book. I've never seen the movie, so I do want to watch it. But yeah, this one was really good. I will say this starts off slow, very slow. So I will say if you're not a big sci-fi reader, keep that in mind because it is very sci-fi forward, the first like 40 pages of the book. And then it shifts into a different kind of perspective, and I really picked up with that when it kind of went that direction. So yeah, this one is really good. I really enjoyed it. I do want to read more by Andy Weir because I feel like sci-fi I've kind of started to dabble in a little bit more and feel like this would be something I would really enjoy to continue reading. So definitely recommend. And the last book that I read for this month was Pocket Bear by Katherine Applegate. I love her books. I feel like every time I see she comes out with a book, I have to pick it up. They're just so heartwarming and adorable and just feel good books that I can just read in pretty much one sitting because of the way they're written. But this essentially follows a cat named Zafira, and she essentially brings back like washed up toys that she discovers to this house where she's living with a mom and daughter, and she brings them back to Pocket Bear. So Pocket Bear essentially is the keeper of the trashed and treasured toys, and they essentially come back to Second Chance home for the tossed and the treasured. And I just think it was so cute. I feel like this is definitely one of my favorites of hers that she's written. A couple of the last ones that I read by her I wasn't as big of a fan of, but this one was just adorable. The family dynamic was so cute. I loved the aspect of these little toys that have like a new life, like new lease on life. It gave very like Toy Story vibes, especially the third one. So yeah, if you're interested in it, I would definitely check it out. It is adorable and definitely recommend, especially if you've got a young one that loves their toys. So yeah, that is everything that I ended up reading for September. How it's October already, I have no idea, but I'm so excited now to get into some spooky books. I've got some fun things planned for reading this month. But yeah, other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. I feel so good to be back, like, loving reading again. I'm enjoying it. I've got this new library. I'm inspired. I'm enjoying the reading game again, which is very exciting for me. So yeah, other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Give a thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe to see more of my face, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.